cannot understand the rules. They can't understand the rules. They cannot understand the concept. So I think it's better for them to just maybe number one, they can start watching English movies. Hello.
Right, right. I'm listening, sir. Actually, sir, my second question is: can online be courses also helpful for the students?
Yeah, sure it is. I actually have a number, not a lot, but I have a number of students, and they are actually taking English online. And from my experience, I've seen tremendous progress with my students. So I think yeah. So that depends on the teacher. That also depends on that also depends on the lesson. So you have turned your camera on.
Yes, I've turned the camera on. If you do, you mind if you can turn your camera on as well?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how did you get my contact?
Actually, I was very curious to discuss these questions globally because you do have experience with a lot of nationalities. So it's better to get your perspective on these issues because these are the questions that students struggle a lot, and I hope you don't have a problem answering them.
Okay, I'm sorry. Do you mind me asking a question? Are you also
Yes,
teaching?
please. Yes,
Are you teaching
yes, I'm
English
involved.
yourself?
Yes, sir. I'm involved with a couple of students who do have problems in spoken, in reading, writing, and other issues.
Mm.
Because there is another problem you must be familiar with. Students who are for some students it's very difficult to learn grammar. Do you think it's
Yeah.
important and necessary to learn grammar in English?
You know, grammar is very important. I think your line is kind of breaking up. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay. First of all, grammar is very important because it's the science of the language. But when it comes to teaching that to the kids, I think you have to have a different approach because normally they won't get the concept of grammar. So, for example, I have a 7-year-old student, and from China, and she has issues about has or is. You know what I'm saying? So, although I try to tell the students about, okay, maybe next time you have to use has instead of have, she gets that one time, but when she says that the following day, she kind of forgets it. So I think at this time, maybe familiarization with the language is important. So just expose the student to communication constantly, and in the process, the student will get used to it. Later on,
So
okay, go ahead.
ac- actually, so as per your experience, is it difficult generally for a student to learn English grammar?
Uh, that depends. Some students have a hard time getting the concept of grammar. Some may find it like a piece of cake. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
yeah. So that depends really. That depends on the students, that depends on the teacher. Okay. But if you can come up with some creative ways, especially for children, maybe you can. How long have you been teaching, if you don't mind me asking? Hello? Hello, sir?
Involved with a couple of students
Yeah.
in English who have problems in English, improving English.
Sir, I'm sorry. I wasn't able to catch up the question because the line was breaking up.
So you were asking that how long have I been teaching, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
So it's been more than 5 years that I'm involved with the local students in my city, so who have problems in spoken as well as reading and writing.
Your students are all Pakistani? Is that
Yes,
right?
they are all Pakistani local students.
Okay. So maybe,
So, sir, Actually, I was trying to differentiate between the local students and the international students, basically. So do you mind if I continue asking the questions?
Yeah, sure. I'll try to answer if I can. Go ahead. Raul,
Sure.
your line is
Is
hello.
thank you so much.
Raul, hello, sir. Your line is not stable. I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
Okay, how long does an international student take to speak English?
How long? Wow. Okay. Actually, it doesn't have like a time period, like to master the language. Normally, they would enroll for 6 months or 1 year. You know what I'm saying. So, if you like put a time period, like okay, for 3 months, my students need to learn, for example, the verb tenses, and if you set the time for your students, maybe that's a good one. You know what I'm saying? But um, that still depends on your
Right.
approach. That still depends on your approach and on the level of your students. Bro, can you hear me?
Right. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you very well. There are students who speak perfect English, yet they struggle with reading and writing assignments. Why do you think
Reading.
is this so?
Oh, reading. Okay. So maybe one reason for that is they have just learned the spoken English and they have not really exposed to the reading. So they have kind of difficulty decoding the letters in the text. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
they they know the sounds when they speak it, but when they try reading it, perhaps one reason for that is they are unfamiliar. The text to decode are unfamiliar to them. So I think that's one reason.
So how would you differentiate basically between reading English, I mean written English and spoken English?
They're quite different because when you are reading, you're reading the text as it is, right? And then when you speak, then that's different because in speaking, you kind of connect every word. You know what I'm saying? You connect one word to the other, and so it has a different sound. But when you read, either silent reading or maybe loud reading, it can be different.
So, for example, if a student is taking up an IELTS speaking test and during the test he doesn't understand the examiner, so how do you suggest him to act in that particular position
Did you say
or
IELTS?
situation?
Did you say
Yes,
IELTS?
IELTS.
Yeah,
Yes.
IELTS. Okay, one. Yeah, I think that's quite hard because that's a special kind of examination, right? So,
Right.
right, and the reading comprehension there is quite different. But at least the student should have under basic level of comprehension, for the reading. But I do not know exactly like how poor the reading of the student is, because most of my students actually who come to my class, they already have they
Students
have
who have this,
established. I'm sorry,
there are students who have this fear of speaking English,
they have fear.
of speaking English. So
Yeah.
how do you pull them out of that?
Okay. Okay. One reason for that is they don't have confidence in themselves, right? That people might think like your English is not correct. Correct. So one way to to, like, one way to motivate your students is perhaps in class you can come up with some ways to create maybe group conversation, right? Where everyone is encouraged to talk. And so in my class, like, some of my students also are hesitant to talk. And so my usual advice to them is just don't care about the rules yet. You know what I'm saying? I tell them
Yes,
don't care about the rules yet. Because if you care for the rules, although that is important, it will just get in the way. So in the process, I just let them talk, encourage them to talk. And then at the end of that speaking activity where I encourage them, I give them like a 5-minute review. So then I bring to their attention some of the things that, for example, the mispronunciation, the grammar, the vocabulary that have to be improved.
So, according to you, you never emphasize on the accent aspect.
Well, that's part of it. That's part of it. The accent is part of the speaking process. Um,
You know, because some teachers say that accent doesn't matter at all when it comes to learning spoken English.
because everyone has accent, right? Like, I can hear you, you have an accent, um, but your English is quite good. You know what I'm saying? Um, so so as long as I think as long as the student is easy to understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, if I have a Pakistani student, it doesn't matter. Maybe the accent is important, but if it's kind of hard to pull that off at this point in time, that's okay, as long as the student is able to talk confidently. And then in the process, the student keeps talking. I think he or she will be able to adopt, maybe at least to natural accent, like American accent. But I think that's going to be taken care of later on. In the meantime, I think just encourage the student to talk. Um, be that Pakistani accent, that's okay, as long as, like, I can understand you perfectly. Is that so?
Right, right. Sir, can I ask you a full name, please?
I'm sorry. You can just call me
Can I
teacher.
please ask you your full name?
You can just call me teacher Al.
Okay,
The,
maybe for the reference, I was asking your full name because I'm from the same profession, right?
yeah. But I do not know you, sir. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna.
My full name is Noor Ul Hasib, and I have a YouTube channel named English Club GK. So now you know me. So now you can disclose your name as well, if you don't mind.
Okay, my name is Alain. I'm gonna tap it down. Okay. All right. Well, Alain. That's Alpha Lima, Alpha India November.
So,
Alain. Yeah, Alain. Alain Cruz.
so you spell it from E, Alain.
Sorry, the line is breaking up. Can you say that again?
So you spell your name with E or A.
A. A. Alain. Alain. Yeah. That's A
Okay,
L
so you
A.
ALAIN, right?
Yes, sir. That's A L, not E. A. Alpha. Alpha. A.
ALAIN.
Right, right. Alain.
Okay.
Is that enough?
So, so you are based in that's more than enough. That's very kind of you. Which country you are based in?
I am from the Philippines.
You're from Philippines. So it sounds like you have been traveling, like maybe United States because you have an accent as well.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
You travel to any other part of the world because you do seems like that you have an accent too.
Okay. Which accent are you referring, sir?
Uh, I do believe that your accent is quite familiar with American accent.
Yeah. I guess it's because of my years of teaching English.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, just to encourage maybe your students, initially my accent was it didn't sound like this. It was kind of awkward. I
Right.
mean, it was kind of hard to understand. But later on, as I embrace the language and become it my habit, eventually my accent gradually changed. Yeah, and I'm still improving myself. Yeah, I'm still improving.
Of course, language learning never stops for a teacher at least.
Yeah, right. I'm actually taken aback. Like, how did you like? Someone was calling, and yeah, I don't remember having an appointment at this time.
Yes, it's great to talk to people, especially from the same profession, who have the similar kind of
Okay, where
challenges
are
to
you in
take.
Pakistan?
Tackle. Uh, so right now I'm in Pakistan club waiting right now. I'm calling from.
Okay, I wasn't able to catch up, sir. I think the internet. I don't know, maybe yours or mine, but it's kind of breaking up. Really, my apology. Can you say that again?
Yeah, sure, sure. I can say that. My name is Gujar Khan, and the academy, the institution where I'm sitting right now, is named English Club. So where I deal with the students who have the English issues with their language. So that's why I was. It's great to discuss with your colleagues, your problems, and maybe you can share the solutions. Of course.
Yeah, I guess the part that I can share with you is improving the confidence of your students. Um, just push them to talk, and it should be coming from you. You just showed them like maybe enthusiastically. Or I wonder how old your students are, sir. How old are they?
They basically are college students as well as high school students.
Oh, high school and college. Okay. Yeah, I think they are quite really great to teach. So just encourage them, sir, to talk. Maybe you can come up or create with a program where each one of them can be part of a group, and you can be a moderator, um, and you can assign a subject to talk about, and from there you listen how each group is doing. The goal of that is just for them to free talk, you know. And number two is just to boost their confidence. And I'm sure in the process you can maybe um, find out some areas to improve more on. But initially, that would be a great start, I think.
That's very, very great advice. Thank you so much for your time,
Yeah.
sir. I hope you don't mind if I contact you again in the future.
Yeah, no problem, sir. Okay, it's really it's pleased to meet you. I mean that one. You know what? This is my first time, so I'm taken aback. I'm like caught off guard because it's my first time to get a call from Pakistan.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
So
I'm honored too, basically.
yeah, yeah, sure. You can message me. Maybe we can arrange a meeting, and you can share some things, and I can share some stuff with you. All right. Okay. Would that be all, sir? Okay. Hello, sir. Are you still there? Hello.